Hello and welcome to another screening of Stellaris Apocalypse. This will be the last one in the series because I've gotten to a point in the game where I've pretty much got all the research done, got all the Unity points done. I've had my internal civil war got that over and done with, and the only thing left to do is to build up a fleet and attack. And it's just going to be hours upon hours of gameplay of me just trying to get my fleet up. I've got to spend 100 to 200 months researching my upgrades at this point, and it's just going to take forever. I'm going to focus on populating my research sector with habitats to get the research up, just to get these up. Then once my energy starts to drop below about 100, I'm going to focus on building energy habitats so that they will put my energy output up. My mineral output is good for now, until I start building my fleet again, which shouldn't be too far off because I sent them up and I lost about half my fleet just fighting the Scourge. So I want to get all my habitats in here done first, until I drop. Then once I get my habitats going, I'll get some energy production going again. Then once I get my energy up, I'm going to start building mineral platforms, just so I get my mineral up. I don't think you want to see me just fielding hours upon hours of just building stuff and not actually playing the game. So this will be the last video for this series, I reckon. Unless you want me to do another one, which I doubt, I'm not going to bother. I may very well just film this, then I won't film myself building up the rest, like all the energy platforms and all the mineral platforms. I won't bother with that because what's the point? Then once I've finished, or near the end of getting my minerals and everything going, I will go back to building my fleet, and then I will just slowly take out the smaller empires that haven't got alliances. Now I think everyone's got an alliance at this point. But his friends, this one I want to attack first, his friends are all the way over here. And I don't know where the other one is. It must be like a small portion where I can't see the name because I think it was the National something. So I'll take this guy out. But before I do that, I will not film the habitats being built. Once I've got them built, I might start filming again. And then I'll start filming the fleet build and what my plans are after that. If you've been watching any of my previous videos, you'll know that I've built all the mega structures available in the game. And I'll just go through them one by one. So the first one is just the standard habitat. So what this does is any planetoid that doesn't have a mining station, I believe, you can build a habitat. Okay, I think the sectors renamed them. They've renamed them from Habitat to Springs, Retreat, Frontier. So we'll just click on these. So as you can see, for each habitat you get 12 squares. It's like a planet with 12 squares, but it's like a biodome. It's like a huge platform with a glass roof. So the buildings on these are not a standard building. They're different. So you got, instead of a farm, you've got the agricultural zone. You need about two of these plus the Paradise Dome. The Paradise Dome, I just build those on every single planet for the happiness. The happier you can have your population, the better off you'll be. Then I will build 2 farms normally, so that will feed the 12 tiles. But with technology, you can upgrade your food output by 5%, and eventually you can actually start deleting those farms and putting more buildings on there that you want to use. So the 3 main buildings you would use here are for mining minerals, research, and energy. So basically what I'm going to try to do is have a whole heap of platforms in here, or habitats with energy production, a whole heap of platforms in here with research, and a whole heap of platforms in here with mineral production. For each star, you can have upwards of 8 platforms. which would be extremely good, but I think on average you'll get 1 or 2. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm hoping to get at least 16 platforms through this sector for research. This one has more empty space because that's where I started my first sector, but this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 32 platforms of energy production, 16 of research production at least. Some of the stations things have more than 2 production. And then this is my mineral production. So as long as I get my energy right up there, and I've already got a lot of energy so I don't really need to, but as long as I get my energy up, if I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so 30 platform for mineral production. I'm gonna, this little sector here, before I start advancing with fleets, like every time I lose a fleet, I can quite easily and quickly build up a new fleet. With my home base, I've actually got 4 shipyards, which will build 4 separate ships at one time. It doesn't actually build a ship 4 times faster, but it builds 4 different ships. So my fleet upkeep should be pretty easy. Once I get the mineral production, the energy production, and the research going, I should be able to upgrade my research extremely quickly. And again, I can upgrade my mineral output. Where are we? 656, 59, sorry, 278. That's 800, close to 1,000. You know, so 5% is another 50 mineral. Then another 5% of that is another 50 mineral, and so on and so forth. I can increase my weapons damage, so by the time I actually start building my fleet to attack, my weapon output will be extremely high. The only problem I've got to worry about this is, while I'm sitting here researching and building my empire, everyone else is building their empires. The difference is, you can see that the size of mine compared to some of the others that had started their wars earlier, like this one's more than double my size, so their fleet superiority is way above mine. They're the I can't even pronounce it, I'm not even going to try. So I'll scroll down to, can I actually swap the, I can, and then it swaps that in. Let's go up the top. Okay, superior. Okay, there you go, fleet overwhelming. And even though my capacity is 333, I only have a fleet of 100, so less than half. Equivalent fleet, equivalent technology. But once I get my research going, my research will overtake theirs, because none of the AI puts dedicated research or dedicated energy output, as far as I understand it. So once I get my dedicated platforms up and going, I should surpass them. So by the time I get to the war with them, I should have an overwhelming fleet. My fleet should be overwhelming compared to theirs. So as of now, they're overwhelming compared to mine. So by the time I get to war with them, my fleet power should be overwhelming. The capacity should go up because I'm going to be building platforms which will put the capacity up, and I'll be building, researching excess naval capacity, which will put my capacity up. Technology level is equal to theirs, but then again, that should go above, superior. Well, I don't think I'll be overwhelming by the time I get there, but it should be superior to theirs by the time I get to fight them. So with a larger fleet, even though they've got more space, I'll have a larger fleet because my research and my planetary systems will have a lot more planets in it. So yeah. So I'm just going to tell, this video is basically just telling you what I have planned, because I can't really do anything apart from build. Where are my civilian ships? So they are... Why are they up there again? I have no idea what's going on. They keep jumping. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm an idiot. I realise what I've done. I actually put them up there because when I went to fight, I was actually going to build outposts and build stations, and have the stations and my fleet defend this as I slowly took over more and more. But their fleet wiped me out. I don't know how. Like, I was larger than them, but when I sent the 2 fleets in, instead of arriving at the exact same time like I anticipated, they arrived separately. So by the time the second fleet arrived, my first fleet was pretty much wiped out. So instead of attacking at the same time, they attacked separately, and that ruined the entire invasion plan. But yeah, in the previous games, I would always have my constructors in my home system of Sol, and then when I went to find them, they wouldn't be here, they'd be up here somewhere. And I don't use them, I have no reason to use them, until I started building the habitats. So my science vessels and my constructors used to be up here, and I couldn't figure out why they'd be in another civilization zone. It just really threw me every single time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to focus purely on research, because if I can get my research up, then I can research faster energy output, faster mineral output, superior fleet capacity, naval capacity, superior fleet capacity. So I can have 2 fleets, one of 200 and one of 133 at this point, fleet power. So I can have 2 fleets. But if I upgrade this to 330, I can have 1 mega fleet, and I can just go from system to system, wiping them out. And if they happen to come back and take that system, I just fly back and take it. But for now, they're unlikely to attack that. They're more likely to attack my fleet. So hopefully that will work out. So let's see. Not much is going to happen in this video. I'm just letting you know this is the last one for the series. I was going to go to a 40 video thing, but yeah, that backfired on me as well. Let's see what else to discuss before I finish filming. We went through mods 2 videos ago. We went through like how they work and what they do and where to find them. Last video I explained why I think the ring worlds might be the best thing in the game, if I'm correct. Ring worlds are separate, or a separate ascension pack perk. Ah, gee whiz. I think I'm getting the flu. I'm getting a bit nasally here. I think you can hear it. So when you build the Voidborn, that gives you the megastructure tree. So once you research this, you can get to the Galactic Wonders and Megastructures, I think is the next one. Yeah, Megastructures is under Galactic. But there's also another Galactic sort of Wonders, which is a ring world. Now with these 3, the Sensor Array, the Science Nexus, and the Dyson Sphere, you can only build 1 of each. The Sensor Array shows you where all the ships in the galaxy are. Blue is friendly, orange is neutral, and red is enemy. So basically, if you're going for a military build, the Sensor Array might be worth it. Might be the only thing worth it in here for now. And as I explained in the last video, I'll explain again quickly here. The Science Nexus puts out 225 extra science. As your science goes up, the percentage, like right now, it's doubled my science, and that's only because of this internal war, which took a lot of my science sector. 1, 2, 3, 4 science sector. I don't know, 5 of my science sectors, and then one of my energy sectors. So what that did is it dropped this down from over 600 all the way through. I think this was just over 500, and these were over 600. So you can see I've lost 150, 100-ish, probably less than 100, and then about 100 here. So what happened is it's doubled my research, but before it only gave me an extra third of my research. But as I build more and more research platforms, that's going to be a percentage drop. You know, for every output of research my platforms habitats do, it's going to be less research. With the ring world, I think to build 2 ring worlds, yeah, 2 ring worlds, I worked out 2 ring worlds would be more than the output of the Science Nexus. So that's not really worth it. If you were to build 1 ring world completely devoted to energy production, you would have 1 dome, 3 farms at least, and then 1 square for your capital. That will leave you for 20. Then out of those 20, 1 of those would have to be science. It doesn't have to be, but 1 would be, I always make 1 science just so they have leveled out this penalty systems. So as you can see, I've got 41 systems, which has given me a penalty of 80%. And 26 planets, which has given me a penalty of 125%. So if you build one research platform on every single planet, that kind of counters that and keeps you at the 100% level. So if you build a second research, that's going to put you above that 100%. So this minus 80 and minus 125, I've kind of balanced that out so it's equal to basically just the 100%. But once I start building a whole heap of research stations, that's going to drop, because the research will just go up. I think I can build up to 15. I think that was 15 research, and I'll tell you why it's not 20, it's 15. It's because you've got to power those research stations. So 5 of those squares have to be for energy production, so you can actually power your research. But with this energy production, you can have 20 squares of energy, because you've got the food to feed them, you've got the capital, you've got the research, and because minerals, the only thing that are needed for minerals are ship, upkeep, and consumer goods. Once you build a mineral ring world, just one ring world will, no matter how big your civilization gets, one ring world of 15 squares of mineral production times 4, which is 60, putting out 60 mineral production plus that 10% capital mineral building. I keep forgetting the name of it, the processor. You're going to get one ring world should power just your ship upkeep and your consumer goods. A second ring world, if you can build a second ring world, this is all on the theory you can build more than one ring world. Any other ring world with mineral production should just power most of your empire. So if you can build 4, just say 4 ring worlds of mineral production only, and then you can upgrade the technology to output more minerals, 5% extra on top of whatever that would be. So I think it's close to 1,000, 800, yeah, 950-ish, whatever, 930. Close to 1,000 plus 5%, plus 5%, plus 5%. You'll be able to get like a quarter of the galaxy in your war, and your empire would be supported by this little sector. For every system, every sector of 10 planets, you know, a ring world would power all of it plus some. So if I had this entire sector just built into ring worlds, I would output enough minerals from here alone to power the galaxy, sort of thing. Now, I wouldn't really do that. I'd do this here where I've got energy, research, and minerals. They're the only 3 sectors I do. The other sectors I build, I may very well just leave the sectors as a balanced focus. So they'll just make sure that all the buildings are being built, and that every sector, every planet within that sector is equaled out all the way through. Because once I build my research sector here, my energy sector here, and my mineral sector, this little portion will power most of my empire, a large portion of my empire. But if I get attacked and lose this, then all that extra energy, research, and minerals, I'm going to lose it. So what I'm going to do is focus here, but with every sector after that, it's going to be a mixed bag of everything. So as long as I can protect this inner sector by having other sectors around it, I should be fine. And as you can see here, if I blocked off this here and this here, okay, 3. There's 1, 2, 3 entries, and this is all empty space where no one can get in. If I can build a good defense along this perimeter, I can bubble in this entire empire once I've attacked it and wiped it out. Then there's 1, 2, and 3. As long as I get a good military force in these 3 again, I can protect this empire as I defeat it. So what I have to do is build up my fleet. As you can see, it's, wasn't that plus 10? Oh, okay, maybe I can't go over the 200 mark. Okay, maybe 200 is the maximum. Maybe I don't need a research fleet capacity. I need to make sure my naval capacity is up. And the higher that is, the more fleets I can have. Because I'm pretty sure I just researched plus 10. won't tell me what I just researched. Let's have a look. What was the last thing I researched? Okay, I don't need this just yet because I haven't got enough planets within my systems just yet. Starbase capacity is extremely important. If you want to build a barrier, each one of these has to have a starbase in it. So I have to get my starbase up to 26 to protect that. Then I've got to get up to 29 to protect that. Then after I've protected that, I can just make sure that I've got a small fleet protecting here, because the small fleet backing up that starbase will be enough to hopefully maintain a barrier. So I've got 6 starbases and 6 small fleets. And when I say small fleet, I mean something around the 50,000 mark. For me, a 50,000 fleet is weak. You want something above 100,000. So something at 50,000 plus a starbase to have an area effect that increases the output of damage of your ships. That would be brilliant. Each one of these starbases, no matter where I put the damn thing, each one of these starbases would have a, let's have a look, not habitats, shipyards, would have a Titan assembly yard, because you can only build as many Titans as assembly yards as you have. So I'm going to build one of those, probably 2 of these, and then the rest will be enhancing ship damage or ship upkeep. Something that will just keep the ships more powerful than they are. This would help with my fleet build. I better get to those civilian ships before I forget. There we go. They're all sitting here doing nothing. So let's have a look. Built. Second ring in. There. This is the 3rd ring in. So this is how I kind of keep track of what I've already done. I look at the rings. I do the last one, the second last, and I just work my way in slowly. Mega structure, habitat. Now, see my resources are already full because I've been talking. I completely forgot. So I can build 5 of them straight off the bat. I've only got 4 constructors, because even 4 constructors, 1, 2, 3, 4, is more than enough. I don't normally have that many constructors. So you can't build it here because I've got a mine on it. So I come into the next circle. Deselect the constructor. Come into the next circle and build the mega structure. Okay, in one, I should be able to, even though there's a population here, there's no mine. Build a mega structure and boom. And then I've got another one here. So that's going to be 5 times 12, which is 60. This is my research. So 12, let me just calculate in my head. One sec, hang on. Oh, didn't I choose anything? I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, mate, okay. I was explaining it and completely. Don't need this because until I get my science up, this isn't very necessary. Core systems not necessary. Starbase capacity won't need that till later. But with each planet, with each habitat I get, I think it puts a percentage into here. So where is it? Population. From population, I'll get 10. So for, I'm not sure what my galactic population is. Does it tell me? Oh wait a minute, it's up here. It's consumer goods. I've got 410 population. I think. I think consumer units is 410. So it's got 410 units of consumer goods. So I think I've got 410 population. That includes all the different aliens as well. Like, it's not just the humans, I've got mixed races in there. So what that will do is for each habitat I build, I'll get a percentage to my naval capacity and my star bases. So I need to, I think my army damage, I just want to increase anything that has to do with military, so that by the time my military is ready to fight, I will be able to. Energy weapons. I'm not a fan of shields, they go so quickly and they're kind of pointless, so I focus entirely on armor rather than shields. But with this one, I focus on weapons attack speed and damage. These are the 2 I will focus on, and the energy output. Now you can see that from my research, these 2 I haven't even bothered with, but these ones have gone up because I'm constantly using these to upgrade. The more energy I can put out, the more stuff I can maintain. You can see all the red there. Building upkeep, ship upkeep. So for every 5% I put out, and then every habitat puts out extra credit, this really adds up after you've got 100 credit in production. Let's have a look. Sector income, production. Okay, the production, I should have 1,000 production because I built the Dyson Sphere. Or do I have to upgrade that one more? I thought I had it fully upgraded. Oh no, I've got to upgrade one more. I thought I had it done. Okay, so once I've upgraded this, next one will be 1,000 output. Now let's have a look. 7. Produce 7. So I'm producing 14.34 from somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, so that production should go up to 1,014. I don't know why. So yeah, 1,000. I'll have 15,000. 1,500 production. That will put an extra 75 for every energy I research. That'll put an extra 75 credits into my production. This will go up by 75. But again, I want to solely focus on my military upgrades. Okay, I screwed up there. I realized just now that I was saving up for another 50,000 so I could upgrade to that to the last stage, because I think it's only, I think that's the last stage. I'm pretty sure that's the last stage because I thought I'd finished it. Maybe I just had one more left. But now, where did I put my constructors? Right here. They are here. Ah, okay. So now, once these 4 are finished, this sector will send a colony ship themselves, because I've built this within a sector, so the sector governor will actually colonize these themselves. But once they've colonized, I've got to make sure that I come back here quickly, put the buildings I want on, because they will build, even though they're research centered, they will put other buildings that aren't needed on them. So I've got to make sure that I've got the research, the energy to feed the research, and I've also got to put the food on there, because I've got a galactic pool of plus 126. They're not going to build any farms, because as far as they're concerned, they can build 10 platforms before they start to need farms to feed their population. So I like to have each planet, every platform, everything have their own self-sufficient food and energy. So let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to discuss. Just letting you know what I've got planned for this. At this point, this is the end of the video, but I have only been filming for a few minutes. So if you want to stop watching here, go straight ahead and just stop watching. I'm going to film for another half hour and just get things built up. And then this will be the last video. Another 15 minutes, not half hour, another 15 minutes. This will be the last video for this series. And you can see for the next 15 minutes how nothing's going to happen. And this is pretty much how it's going to happen for the next several hours. So I don't see why you'd want to watch several hours of me just sitting here doing this. Literally nothing. So if you want to stop watching just now, I suggest you do that. Or you can skip to the end. The last 5 minutes I just do a quick explanation of my channel. If this is the first video you've watched, yeah, this will be the first time you've seen the explanation. Okay, so this is the primitive civilization that has started building satellites. Yes. So eventually, they may, if they started satellites, they're on their way to spacefaring. So I've got a planet here. So when they get into space, this will turn into like a zebra-looking bubble, because the influence from us and them will be mixed together, because we both own a system, a star planet within the system, and therefore we'll be sharing the influence. But they've only got the one. Every other star system has been colonized, so they can't actually leave, really. They're stuck in that bubble. But I can incorporate them into my civilization through trading with them, getting them happy with me, and asking them if they want to assimilate into my civilization. Therefore, I'll just get their planet and mine. Once that happens, their civilization, let's see, Alpine, their civilization will want to, looks like they've had a fight. Okay, looks like they've had a war of some sort and wiped themselves, cleared themselves out a bit because the buildings aren't being watched over. So maybe that they've gone through a nuclear age, decided not to kill each other, or they didn't wipe each other out, they just wiped half the population out, and now they're building up again. So this looks like they might be the first out of the 4. I've had 2 destroy themselves. This might actually be the first one to actually get into space. The other 2 I just took over their planets. They were wastelands, so I just terraformed them and took over. So if you are still watching, I don't know why. Literally nothing's going to happen. Like I said, I'm just going to film for an extra few minutes, get my things going, and then I'll just stop. I might actually just stop filming altogether. I might not even bother continuing with this gameplay, unless someone says, yeah, go for it. But again, I'll skip through that aspect of it if I do continue playing. It might be a day or 2 before I put an extra video out if a lot of people want me to continue. Again, I don't see why they would want me to, but if I get more than a handful of people saying, yeah, continue, I will. But for now, I'm just going to film for another few minutes and then stop filming this playthrough. I'm going to start another playthrough on a different game. I think it was Anno I had decided on, just to show you that how that one works. I think a lot of these game channels play a lot of the newer games, like games that have just been released. But for me, I can't afford to buy the new games that have just been released. Just setting up this channel, in a month I spent $300. The video editing software, which I'm just using the basics of, I've got the entire program, but I'm using the basics just to get started, was $100. The microphone, it's a good quality one. It's the brand is called Blue, the product is called Snowball, and yeah, I'm happy with the quality of the sound. I'm not too happy with the quality of the image though. On my computer it looks really sharp and crisp. Like the Terran here, you can see, I'm not sure if it's showing up on your screen, but on my screen it's very crisp and sharp, but when I watch it back on YouTube, and after, you know, it takes an hour or 2 to format on the YouTube channel, but even after a day or 2, when I go back, it's blurry, it's not sharp, and I'm not sure why. When I record it, it's sharp. When I re-watch the video, it looks sharp and crisp. But when I go to YouTube to watch it, it doesn't seem to be sharp. Now, the options I chose when uploading was to be good quality, so I'm not entirely sure if I've somehow messed up and the quality is not as good as it should be, or there's some sort of transfer problem where once it goes from your computer to YouTube, quality is lost. But I'm recording on high quality. I've got the game on high quality, you know, good graphics strength. Let's have a look. Graphics, borderless window, yeah, that doesn't actually change. Refresh rate, desktop. You can't change that. Multi-sample. Or maybe 8. Maybe if I have it at 8. Might make it a bit quick. Well, if the last half of this video gets better, the last few minutes of this video get better. Graphics high, low, medium, high. Bloom, I think that's light, shadow, bloom, I think. No, lens flare is light. Yeah, that's on good quality. Lens flare. I'm not entirely sure what that changes. I think it's like the shine of the stars, but that just shouldn't affect the writing. UI scaling. I'm not even going to move that because I think that makes these things change size and shape, and I'm not going to bother with that. Sound. I've taken the master volume down just so the background voices don't drown my voice out. The advisor voice, I don't like it. It's not so much the voice, but what they say. I would prefer them not to say some stuff, but I think you can actually change that with your... oh, here it is. Resume. Advisor. You can actually change that. I've turned the volume down, but you can hear it in the background there. So, what else is there? Settings. Sound. So that just changes things. Master volume's the overall sound of the game, but I've had this down because if this is talking in the background over what I'm trying to say, you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. I've turned the music down off, all the way off, because I don't know if there's any sort of copyright for the music, and I don't want to have my videos flagged for copyright, so I've turned the volume off. Ambient volume is just like, if you zoom in, you can hear ships flying through space, you can hear the construction of buildings. Advisor is the one that was just talked. I might just bring that up a bit because that was a bit low. effects sounds, ambient. That's battle, and that's just ships flying around. So that's like weapons fire and stuff like that. Gameplay. So yeah, every 2 years it will save the game automatically. I don't care about the cloud. I'm not even sure if I've got a. I think you might have a free amount of space to start off with, and you've got to pay for more. But I don't use the cloud. Tutorial. I know how to play the game. Oh, I thought I did. I should have had that on for this game because it was very, very, very different. Event pop-ups. I've turned this off, but pop-ups is coming on all the time. Event auto pause. So whenever an event pops up, and you've got a say you got a battle in the background, the event pops up, and you want to read that event, but you have to close it off to get back to the battle. When that little notice pops up, the game will pause. So you want to leave that on, because even if you don't want the game pausing, you need it to pause, because you have to read these events that can be very important and affect the empire, your entire empire. If you choose the wrong option, you can actually end up with a civil war of robots, as just happened to me. Yeah, so once you close the window, it will start playing again. So let's just apply. I think I might have changed one thing there. And then, there we go. So, I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, I'm just going to keep building habitats. I'm going to keep going till my energy drops to a low level, and then I'm going to start building habitats in the energy and build energy up. And then I will build minerals. Because I want my, and I'm not going to keep going with the energy, I'm just going to build enough to get it back up to the, oh look, it's jumped. I'll get above the 500 mark. Once it's above 500, I'll start building minerals, and once it drops down to the 100 mark, I'll build more energy. Because I find that this will jump around up to 200 points. So if I'm at the 100 mark and it jumps down 200 to minus 100, I've got no idea why. And it happens with the minerals as well. I think it might have something to do with the shroud, because consumer goods will drop, because the shroud will say consumer goods will drop. But then once that wears off, it will go back up and your minerals will drop. But I looked at that, and the minerals were going up and down, and it didn't affect the consumer goods wasn't affecting it. I wasn't building any ships at that point, so the ships weren't affecting it, but it was up and down 100 to 200 credits. And so with the energy, apart from population upkeep, because I was building more planets, and again, the planets themselves are self-sufficient in energy, this was going up and down in energy. So building upkeep, yeah, but the energy on the planet should have kept that. Ship upkeep, I wasn't building any ships. Starbase upkeep, I didn't actually have any star bases, so it really didn't affect me. Army upkeep, I only recently started the army, so that wasn't affecting. And the station upkeep, again, I wasn't building anything, because I had gotten all the area I couldn't build any more stations, so that was not it. But both of these were jumping up and down between 100 to 200. My fleet strength here was at 106,000, and then it dropped to 96,000, and all the way down to 86,000. I wasn't upgrading, I wasn't doing anything to the ships, but the ship strength was going up and down, up and down, up and down. I couldn't figure out why. I think it might have had something to do with a curve, where the largest fleet stays, like, I don't think I've seen anything than 123,000. So 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 8. You know, I don't think I've seen anything larger than that. So I think this fleet's getting stronger and stronger, but their maximum strength can only be 123,000. So if their maximum strength can only be 123,000, and then but they're getting stronger, that means that everyone else is getting weaker, and that's why my damage output dropped. That's the only thing I can think of. No research agreement, go away. I've left a message on another YouTuber's channel to ask them if that's the possibility. I'm hoping I explained myself correctly, and he can get back to me on that. Hopefully he knows, because the guy I asked seems to know a lot about Stellaris. So again, I'm not going to be doing much of anything apart from building my habitats, and I don't think you want me to sit here for who knows how many videos. It's civilian ships. It's taken half the video to do this. I think, you know, altogether, let's just say there was 60 space stations, not 60, yeah, about 60, I think, throughout all this, 20, 20, and 20, because that was like 30, I think I worked out. This was above 20, this was below, this was like near the 20 mark, so 20, 20, and 20 is 60. It's going to take an hour to do 8, 8, 16, 32, so that's 4 hours, and that's if I maintain it. If I screw up and pause the game too long, or not keep an eye on my minerals and I waste time waiting, it's going to take longer than 8 hours. That's roughly 8 to 9 videos of me just sitting here waiting. So this game is not a sprint, it's a marathon, as they say, as I've heard some people say anyway. It's a marathon, and you've got to wait. You've got to wait, and then go. So yeah, if you're still watching, I have no idea why. Like I said a few minutes back, you might want to just skip to the end, the last few minutes, and we'll see what happens there. So he's got a colony ship waiting. He's got a colony ship waiting. So as soon as I build a habitat, one of these ships will go for it. Now they'll only colonize one at a time, so I need to build 3 or 4 colony ships, which I'm going to do. Actually, I could just build a whole heap, you know, go boom, 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 boom. Now each one of these colony ships is going to cost 8 energy to maintain. So I've got 14, because I've got 13 in order, plus the one up the top that's being built. So I've got 14 times 8. 80. So it's, yeah, it's about 100 energy I'm going to lose waiting for these ships to colonize. But I can afford it. Well above. For each one I colonize, my maintenance will go down 8 points, and this will go up 8 points. So I'm more than happy to do this. I'm building along here, so the ships only have to go there, to there, and then to there for now. Once I've got a whole heap built, I might actually send them over down here somewhere, and then once they've built the platforms here, just send them in, and then, you know, eventually, I think it was 16 or 18, actually, might just go to 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, so I've got 18, yeah, 18, that'll be enough to colonize my entire energy out, my entire research output. But that was calculating 2 planets per sector, and in this one alone I got 5. So let's see. Colony ships aren't moving, they're just sitting there. Oh, and here, oh no, oh no. I was going to say I was going to build 4 at a time, but the starport, which is an orbit of your planet, is completely separate from your starbase, which is a military building. So you can build as many military ships as you have starports within your starbase, but you can only build, there we go, he's going to colonize. You can only build 1 of these ships at a time. There's no way to upgrade your spaceport as far as I know. I haven't seen anything. It's only the star bases. So what am I? Close that, click on that, upgrade. So that one's a star hold as well. Yeah. So a few videos back, I was going to actually build a starbase and then upgrade it and show you all the different upgrades, and then I forgot for about a video or 2, and now I'm remembering again. So I've got the basic starbase, and then I've upgraded and upgraded, and I was going to get this one upgraded to level 4, and then level 5. And I was going to show you the differences between the 5 levels, but I keep forgetting because I'm an idiot. So, okay, finished the habitats. So I've got, I think it was 1 more in here. Yeah, 1 more in the middle there. So I'll start these constructions. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I'll do this. I can finish off the Dyson sphere later on. I don't need the energy. It's only going to give me an extra 500, and I don't need it. You know, I'm well above what my capacity is. And there you go, more than 2. In here there's at least 3. That one doesn't have a mining, so there's 4 in here as well. So I'm going to have more than enough research pumping out. Yeah, didn't think I so. And I'll just have this constructor come here and wait. wait near that planet. There's another one here. I won't be able to build on this planet because I've got a... Actually, no, that's the star. So I can actually build on every single planet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to probably have more than the 20 I originally thought. I might have like 40 in here alone. 30 to 40 in here alone. And that's I'll just send the colony ship over. You can wait there. So there should be 4. Oh, it only showed 3 planets in... No, wait a minute. I could have sworn I had a planetary system down here. I had 4 different planets showing that were habitable. This only shows the 3 out of the 4. Don't know why. Or maybe because these are all the same class and those were different classes. 4 different classes, but these are 4 the same class. Okay. No research agreement. I want to get my research up above everyone else and then wipe them out. Started out peaceful, but that just didn't work at all. I think there's a few balance issues they need to work out with that, because maybe they have balanced it the way they want it, where you can't get your Federation too big. But the problem is, you have to get your Federation big if you want to win the Federation build. Where is it? Yeah, the victory condition. Federation victory of all habitable planets. So instead of being able to have a federation of about 60% of the galaxy populations out of 35 empires, so 60% of those 35, you've actually got to have 4 or 5 empires, and then those 4 or 5 have to build themselves up to colonize 60% of the galaxy. Weapons attack speed. So weapons attack speed I've just researched. So I want weapons damage, because there's no point having a lot of damage going if they're not firing fast enough to put out the damage. So you want to increase the attack speed, then the damage, then the attack speed, then the damage. But as you can see here, platform, kinetic, explosive. And that's attack speed, damage, and damage. So you got 3 of these, and each one has an attack speed and a damage. So you want to keep this number here roughly the same. If you want to go for the smallest one. So the reason this probably isn't as strong as it could be, which means it's several... yeah, see, this is level 3, and this is... I haven't even researched level 1 here, so this is 3 levels behind. And that's because it might not have popped up as often, and when I went to research something, this was one that was equal to, and it hasn't popped up the last 2, or the last couple of upgrades. So I'm always going to go for the lowest level of research, just so I can keep the maximum attack speed and maximum damage equal to each other. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the video here. There's my colony ship. Oh, he's here. I will colonize the innermost one. I can't, no. Yeah, I'll colonize this one. Now, like I said, the buildings on here are not the same as the planet, so it doesn't matter where you put the capital, it will not affect the squares on either side of it. So you can shove it down here and you won't lose anything because there's nothing to lose. So I'm going to shove it in here just because it is out of the way. It just helps my mind, so I don't have to worry about that. It would be here, sort of thing. So I just have to focus on making sure that a Paradise Dome, at least one farm, it will always be minus... I was not going to show you. It'll always be... is anything in here? Yeah, here we go. It'll always be minus 1 food. It's always going to be, because when you build a Paradise Dome and a farm, that's going to feed 11 squares out of the 12. But like I said, I'm well above. I like to have them maintain themselves, but I'm well above, so 1 food isn't an issue. Then I can research excess food output, and eventually that will be able to feed 13 squares. Those 2 farms will feed 13 squares, 12, 13, 14 as the food gets more and more and more. And you might think, oh, that's ridiculous, but at the end game, when your research is through the roof and you've got nothing else to research, it will happen. 100 months at most, because again your research will be going up and up and up, so 100 months at the most, and you'll be able to research something else. Weapons damage, food output, weapons, fleet capacity, something in that sort of field. So once this is finished colonizing, it won't pop up here, it would pop up in my sector management, because I've got this in my research, so that this thing here, I'm not sure if it pops up now. Which one's this called? So it's this one here. It's all 0 across because there's no population, because it's actually colonizing now, so there's no one on there. So I've just got to wait for that. Once this is colonized, I will be able to. That's right, that's the plan. Oh, that one's already done. So build a mega structure, bam. Excuse me. So he's back in the other system. So I'll take my colony ship and I will colonize. See, the sector management's colonizing this on their own. Well, I've colonized this one, and I'll colonize this one as well. And again, out of the way. So yeah. So as I was saying, you want 2 farms. Your capital will be there, and then you want to put as many research in here. So you'll have, I think, 1 energy helps 3 research. So you'll have 3 energy here, and then the rest will be research. Now that one here will just be backup energy, feeding back into your empire. So 6 research will put up all these up by 6 points, and then 12 points. I think you can't upgrade the research here. It's a research building. No, it won't show me. Habitat that's already finished. No, that's the planet. Habitat. There we go. Build. Research. Okay, as you can see, it starts off at 2, and then you can upgrade it a bit. So you're going to have at least 6 research going from 12 research coming from here, from each platform. There are 5 in this sector. That's 60. This will go up by 60 points. Then as you upgrade, you can delete a farm, because 1 farm will be enough to feed that eventually. You can delete energy production, because that energy production is no longer needed, sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to take a long time to get there, but eventually you can get quite powerful with a small empire like mine, a tiny little empire like mine. If you keep your research going, you're going to pump out more energy and minerals. Then you can build energy and then minerals. But even then, even though this is my energy production, if I've got enough energy being produced here, I can still make this one research. As long as my energy output is high, I can still build research platforms here. In here I can build research platforms. As long as I keep my minerals, I think above 1,000. That's what I like to do. Try to get to 1,000 and keep it maintained above 1,000, so that when something happens with my ships or consumer goods, I've got that buffer zone. If I overbuild my fleet, I get a penalty, and the ship maintenance might double to 600 or whatever, you know. I want to keep this very high. I want to keep this above 500, because again, penalties from having a fleet, too much fleet, will cost a penalty, and it'll increase the energy and mineral costs. If you do have an excess amount of this, and this drops, and then that goes to the minus, you won't be able to power your ships. So even though my fleet is at 66,000, it might drop to 60,000, or I think it dropped to half actually. It might be 33,000, because there's nothing powering your fleet. Your fleet will be half the damage, doing half the damage, because it can't maintain its own fleet. You can't maintain your own fleet. So you really have to have your energy up, your minerals up. This is not important to have it above 0, because every planet should have its own farming needs met. So you really want to keep this, you know, around 100 should be more than perfect in emergency situations. About 100 should be fine. But even that, 100 is extreme. You shouldn't really need it. So I think I just finished. I did? Okay. So as you can see, they started to build their own building. So I want to pause the game here. And I want to build the Paradise Dome, a farm, and that should feed them. I will put a energy matrix, so 6 and 12. Okay, I think this thing actually, upkeep is 3. I'm going to leave that there because it makes the population happy. So actually I'm going to get 5, 10 research plus 1 random sort of thing when I upgrade it. So 10, and then another energy building because of this building here. So I'm going to build the research. Actually no, I want to build the energy first. Yes. Build the energy first because you don't want this to go into minus when the research builds first. You want to get the energy up. Another thing I like to do is, again, any sort of building that will give a bonus to the research, I'm happy to build. I don't need growth speed because my population is pretty good. This is not worth it. 45 energy to replicate 30 minerals is a lot. Is very bad. That's a very bad ratio. You don't want that. You want it to be like, if it was upkeep of 30 and the monthly out of minerals was 30, it'd get 1 for 1. That'd be worth it. Anything that drops the upkeep and puts out more minerals, you want to get that sort of research going. Now I don't know if the plus 5% affects this, so it will go up to like 30.33. Yeah, I'm not sure if that affects these. It should do if you upgrade your mineral output. Stronghold, unrest. Again, I don't really have unrest, and this outputs energy and unity. My unity is at 2 million because I'm not using it. Now, in my last video, I showed you the mod where you can open all the unity trees and all the ascension perks. So pretty much this list is up the top here, and you can open all 20. So normally when you open this one, it will lock off another 4 squares that you can't research, but it unlocks everything. So you can go through the spiritual build, the robotic build, and the warrior build. I think there were the 3 classes. So you don't have to. The only thing you have to choose is which order you're going to open them up. You don't have to choose which 8 you want to collect out of all 20. You can get all 20, and then all of the trees for all the different empires. Like I think with my spiritualist build, I've got the spiritualist sort of options. I went for a military build. I'd have domination, supremacy, and probably something like upkeep of ships would drop. So that opens up a whole heap of these. Must be, I don't even know, I didn't even bother to count, but I think it was like 5 across and 5 down. It's 25 of these sort of things. So every single option you choose when opening, creating an empire, will change one of these. I'm not sure if everything has a different name or the expansion list is just different for each one, or like the expansion is replaced with something else. I'm not sure how that works. I haven't actually used that mod before. It's just a brand new mod because this is a brand new game. Yeah. So this is done, I think. Yep. Okay, so I'll pause the game again and quickly I will build the Paradise Dome just to get the food. I will build the farm just to get more food, and then I want to focus on energy. So I'll build at least 3 of these. Energy, and I'll let them build the leisure center. That is good just for happiness. Anything that can increase your happiness, and I think that's the only building on a platform that does. Anything that can increase your happiness is good. And then I've got 5 here for the research. Okay, so 10 research. Let's just say some of them were 2, 3. So let's just say 13 research for each one per platform. Times 5 is 50. And 3 is 15. So 65. No, it can't be right. Oh yeah, 65. Yeah. 65 from 5 habitats. And again, once you upgrade your food output, you can delete a farm and put another research. Once you increase your energy output, you can delete the energy but another research. And it goes from 3 per square to 5 squares to 6 squares to 7 squares to 8, you know, and eventually, yeah, your capital, food, energy, and the leisure center, and you'll have 8. That's very, very late research, very, very late game, but you'll have 8 outputting 3, at least 3 of each research, times 5 within that sector, or within that planetary system. So I'm going to end the game now. I'm going to save it. I'm not going to do any more videos after this. I'm going to start another game. I'm going to play through a game on my own without recording it, but I will be recording a different game. So we'll just save this. Tuba, agree. Actually, before I quit out, let's see, load game. I will, let's have a look, can I trash that? Yep. Okay, I don't want to save that. There we go. Yep. Borg, yep. Actually, yeah, so you can see I've got to delete all this because even though these might work now, even though these might work now with the new upgrade to the Star Trek New Horizons mod, I'm not going to start halfway through a game. I'm going to delete all these and start a fresh game. So what I'm going to do is cancel out of there. I've saved the game. I'll exit to the desktop. So what I'm going to do now is activate these 3 mods, and I'm going to do a Star Trek playthrough on my own just to see how that works out for me. So being able to open all the traditions, all the unity points, all the ascension perks, playing the Star Trek game. I'm going to see how I play that by myself, and then I'll, if people watch this video and say, oh, okay, that looks like it might be fun, if they like Star Trek, you want to see how that works out, I'm more than happy to do a video of it. But for now, I'm not going to bother filming any more Stellaris for a while. This channel, I'm pretty sure I made it quite clear in the first video. This is not a Stellaris channel. It's just the first game I chose because it was a new one out, new expansion out, not a new game. Now looking at here, let's have a look, Galactic Civilizations. I want to do a playthrough of this, but I went to here and just to check on what was happening. And in spring of 2018, in Australia we're heading towards autumn. In America you're heading towards spring. So in the next 3 to 4 months, this is going to come out.
If the government cannot adapt,
I won't do that because I don't know what sort of copyright they've got on that. I don't want to get flagged again. And it doesn't actually have a price attached to it. Let's go back. Yeah, there's no price attached to it. So this is an upgrade. Now this will cause internal conflict, basically, intrigue. It's that suggests to me spies. I'm not exactly sure what it upgrades because everything I think this would be about is already in the game. So I think it just adds more options. So let's go back. Crusades was 20 bucks. So these smaller ones are just giving you small DLCs, whereas this was a full kind of expansion. So anywhere between 10 and 20. I'm looking at, yeah, 10 and 20. Then I'm not exactly sure what this is. I think it just makes your ships look like giant robots from what I saw. Fighting robot. But from what I saw, I think they're just ship components to make it look like a robot. But again, I've never actually played with this one. It's been out for over a year, as you can see, a year and a half. So when this comes out, if it's $20 or less, I will definitely get it, and that's in 3 to 4 months away before it actually comes. Or maybe 1 to 4 months. So because available spring, 1 to 4 months. But if it was available next month or so, I'd say there'd be a price attached to it. So when this comes out, I will definitely start a playthrough. I'll upgrade to this and that and do a playthrough. XCOM. I thought I had the second game. I had bought the second game a while back, but I can't seem to find the disc. And I don't want to have to buy the second game again, so I might have lost the disc in a box somewhere, because I'm constantly designing and redesigning my rooms. I'm kind of ACD like that. I like to OCD ACDC, yeah, rock on. I'm kind of OCD, where I like to have things in a specific place, but once I've got it done the way I want it changed. I've got to have, yeah, so I'm constantly packing shelves, packing boxes, moving things around. So I've got several games that I could probably add to this list in many different boxes around the house. I'm very fidgety about that sort of thing. I don't suffer from OCD, but I've got this OCD kind of passion to move things around, constantly move. So yeah, so all of these games here, except for the Rise of the, like, that is a really old game. I don't even know how old that one is. I can't get it to work on this computer. Apparently the game files don't work with this version of Windows, and I can actually upgrade it, but I'm not too sure how. And the same with Fallout 3 Game Edition of the Year. I can't get this game to work with my computer, but apparently there's a patch. So I've actually got to find out how to get this to work. So that's just my Steam account here. I can play any of these games. I've got Sid Meier's Civilizations 1 through to 5. I've got Beyond Earth. I don't have the expansion just yet, Sins of the Solar. So I've got all these plus extra games. So we'll go back to the. Oh, that was the main screen. With Ark, let's have a look at the games. So these are the games I've played. This is pretty much the only game I stick to. The only game I actually play. I did play this for a while, but it was getting frustrating for me. I was only able to log in once a day, and I'd lose a lot of resources to being attacked because I wasn't able to play as often as I'd like. Whereas this one, you don't get attacked if you're offline. It's just a free-to-play game. This is just really good. So we'll close that one down. Click on Battle.net. I'll click on all of them, have them all load up. Blizzard. Blizzard. Okay. So these are the games. I haven't actually played World of War. I think this actually downloaded as a free tester, I think, and that's why I've got it. I'm not a fan of Diablo. It's weird. I can play a science fiction game that has got the exact same format of gameplay, but I'm not as good with fantasy and fiction, which is really odd because I like Might and Magic. That's a really good series. I've always enjoyed it. But 10 is not that flash for me. Hearthstone is that card game. Heroes of the Storm, I haven't actually played this, but this is basically a World of Warcraft version of StarCraft, I believe. Overwatch I don't have. I don't know why that uploaded. And then I've got StarCraft. Can I move this? Awesome, I can. So I've got StarCraft. I might try to just do a gameplay. So it just upgraded itself. Yep. I might do a gameplay of StarCraft just to show the storyline. But I think there are hundreds of these. This thing's been out for, I think 20 years? Could be wrong, but I think it's about 20 years this one's been out. No, it can't be that old. It must be close to that. It's been out for a while. StarCraft itself is good. The thing I like about StarCraft is there's a modding community within the game that actually you can play these arcade games where people have just put these little mini maps in and you can play games on them. And if you get bored of playing StarCraft 2, you can actually go into this arcade and I'm not sure. Yeah, I won't bother. I won't bother going into all that detail just yet. I'll do it next time. Uplay. Let's go to my games. These are the games I've got on Uplay, but I can go to the store, obviously. I don't play Uplay all that often. The Anno games I've pretty much played before I knew of Uplay, so I've actually gone through all these. So you can see there's all these different games you can play. I've played one of the Far Cries. I'm not a fan of Far Cry or the first-person shooters. I just don't like war games. I don't know why. I love Fallout. It's one of my favorite game series, but I don't like war games. I like the Might and Magic series, but I don't like fantasy. So I've got this very particular taste of games. But again, if you want me to try Far Cry and I've got the money, obviously I'm not going to buy it anytime soon because I haven't got the money. But if you want me to try the Far Cry series, so this is obviously 1 through to 4, and then you can get number 5s. Say 1 through to 4 cost the same as number 5. I'm more than happy to play it. The problem is saving up the money to pay for it in the first place. More than happy to give it a go, but again, it's not my game. It's my sort of gameplay. We'll just go back to games, close that off, and then Origins. I should have done this one first. So I've got the entire Command and Conquer. I think it's called the First 10 Years pack. So I've got every single game in the Command and Conquer series. One of my favourites is Red Alert 2. I play that on and off all the time. I've played it through several times. I really enjoy the Red Alert 2 one. Anything after that, I haven't really played too much, but I have played a bit of everything from the first one all the way through to the last one. I'm not sure if there's any new ones that's come out in the last year or so, but I'm going to do a search. Again, if you do know of it and you want me to try it and I've got the money, I will buy it and give it a go. I think Command and Conquer is the only thing I've got on this games. Let's have a look. Where's my home page? Is this my home page? This isn't my home page. Whatever. I'm not going to waste time going through all that. So basically, these are the platforms plus Ark, which is the Star Trek one. And again, I've said it before, Subnautica. I really want to get that. I've seen the video play of it. It's somewhat cheap. You'd expect a game with that much detail to be expensive. Like, it's only 30 Australian dollars, I think, or maybe even less than 30 Australian. But the amount of detail that I've seen in it, it's more than 30. It's more than $30 value. Let's just say that. If you watch the video, you'll see that's more than $30 value. So that's something I'm willing to buy just for myself, let alone the channel. Yeah, so if you've got any comments on how to make the channel better, any games you want me to try, just leave a comment below. Again, it's all about the money. More than happy to try it, but buying it is the issue. So, whoa, an hour and 13 minutes. I've been going way too long. So I'm just going to leave it as I always do. Leave a comment down below. Keep it civil in the conversations. I'll see you in the next video. And by the way, this is the last one for the Stellaris.